Warmind Cell Void Splash Damage is here, and I really do believe that there are end-game builds to be had. I'm talking Grandmaster, Raids, Lost Sector, Solo, Team Play. I have used various things, and some of them are better than others, some of them are as good as they are on surface, and some of them are way better once you start putting them in practice, and some of them are just flat out cool. Like, who doesn't like that? Warmind's Decree is in the final column of the artifact. Void Splash Damage Final Blows have a chance to create Warmind cells. I've seen a lot of love for this on Reddit, other videos, on Twitter, and I just want to add a little bit more to it. In this video, I want to cover various weapons, strategies, some of them even for higher tier play. They're really good, so keep them in mind. Some are standalone, but some are combined. You can combine these things, add to a build. I want to first start off with the title of the video, Unexpectedly Fighting Lion. And does this go down a crazy rabbit hole? There are so many additions. I'm excited to talk about it. Now, I said I tried tons of weapons and subclasses. Believe it or not, Fighting Lion was in the top 3. It might even be the top spot, as crazy as that sounds. But hear me out. There are 3 very important things about the Void Fighting Lion. Number 1, it takes primary ammo. Number 2, within the perk, kills always drop primary ammo. 3, it's a grenade launcher. You're allowed 2 unlocks in the final artifact column. Right there is Breach and Clear. When using a grenade launcher, damaging a boss, champion, breaking combatant shields, this reloads your stowed weapons and causes the combatant to take increased damage for a short duration. The debuff is 30%. This is how much of a crazy useful tool Fighting Lion is. You're able to throw the shots for an ad clear, and a Warmind cell is going to come up. That's because of the Warmind Decree. So let's stop for a moment. On the artifact, there's Blast Radius. It costs 1 energy. Become charged with light by rapidly defeating enemies with a grenade launcher or rocket launcher. So you're going to be charged with light, because this is going to be a main ad clear. Then you can use that charge of light on whatever you want, and I'll get to that in a moment. Number 2, the cell is on the ground. On the artifact, there's Hammer of the Warmind. The detonations from Warmind cells you destroy can cause disruption, stunning combatants, delaying energy regeneration and lowering combatant output, strong against overload and unstoppable champions. So in this moment, if there's an overload or unstoppable, you can hit that and stun them, or you can just shoot the cell to nuke the entire area. Any champion that comes, any major, you can direct hit them with the Fighting Lion to debuff them because of Breach and Clear. You and your allies do 30% more damage on that target. You can do everything with Fighting Lion. Ad clear with it, ad clear with the Warmind cells, debuff champions, stun champions, get charged with light. And the reason this works so well, again, back to that list, right here. Look at that. Every kill that you get, it drops a primary brick. Why not throw on Grenade Launcher Scavenger too? It's on the artifact, it costs 1 energy. On a build with Fighting Lion, you have 4 main things: Breach and Clear, Hammer of the Warmind, Blast Radius, and Warmind Decree. Then you can add a mod so you can spend that charged with light. There's also a spot that you can add for a Warmind cell, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more later, but who's to say that you're going to be getting kills, getting charged with light, you stun a champion, you shoot Fighting Lion, debuff the champion, then use a Lucent Blade charged with light sword on them, or an Argent Ordnance rocket launcher. You're guaranteed to always have ammo, you can stun, debuff, clear. Fear the Fighting Lion. Seriously, try it. When you get that artifact up, it's awesome. Next, I want to talk about Middle Tree Void Titan Code of the Commander. You've been seeing some of it with the Fighting Lion gameplay. With Tactical Strike, Controlled Demolition, Resupply, the Banner Shield, you can get a ton done. This Banner Shield, you use it to walk down bosses, champions, and higher level play. You pair it with Doomfang, Ursa. You create a ton of orbs for your team, eating all that damage. Maybe there's a Star Eater Hunter behind you collecting those orbs, but let's say you throw the shield or melt ads or use the shield bash, and you drop a Warmind cell, like right here. Just to be sure, maybe that cell could have Warmind's protection. You take reduced damage from enemies that are near Warmind cells. Or maybe Power of Rasputin, you gain a bonus to weapon damage against enemies that are near these Warmind cells. As you're getting closer to this enemy, this champion, say you're walking one down, you're using this cell for that, whether it be suppression, protection, or maybe more weapon damage. Maybe a teammate has Hammer of the Warmind on. That's the one from the artifact that we talked about earlier, where the detonation can stun a champion. So your teammate can use that cell to stun them as you're walking them down. There's a ton of stuff you can do, because this is giving Void Splash damage. Your melees and grenades chaining the void detonations. It's going to drop cells. This can be used for end-game stuff. It really can. And also, moving on to Hunter real quick, same thing. When you use Tether, the explosions from the Tether can spawn a Warmind cell. And I did check damage with Star Eater scales. The Warmind cell does not do 60% more damage, but it's still very valuable to have that cell there. And for that cell, I do recommend Power of Rasputin. Like right here in the gameplay, I'm using it to kind of nuke the area, but you could leave that cell there. That way you have the bonus to your weapon damage while your main target is debuffed. Next, I want to get into some other weapons. First, Graviton Lance, and here's the deal. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'm just going to put it out there, it's like a 50-50 deal. Like, the pure exception is if you're in solo or general play, because the deal with Grav Lance is that when there's an area that has a ton of enemies and teammates, sometimes the game can't take it. It's not going to do those long Graviton Lance chains. When you're by yourself, it'll chain so much, it'll spawn a cell, and the Grav Lance explosions will actually detonate the cell. It's great, really cool to look at. I tried it in a Nightfall, and the issue there is the enemies don't collateral well. The Grav Lance kind of tickles them, it doesn't destroy them, so at that point, you're stuck in an activity where you have a pulse rifle struggling to make cells what you're trying to use it for. A pulse rifle isn't on the artifact, so you can't help with champions. It's a rough spot to be in. Definitely use it though, but as you get up there in difficulty, it starts losing appeal. Next, Wishbringer. There's a very cool interaction with Wishbringer. If you have Blast Radius and Argent Ordnance, and again with those two, rapidly defeating enemies with a rocket launcher gets you charged with light, and then with Argent Ordnance, you use that charge with light to deal more damage with your rocket. If there's a whole bunch of enemies and adds, the Deathbringer will keep proccing those two things in a near infinite loop. It will use a charge, it will gain a charge at the same time because it's killing all those enemies. There's a ton of upkeep for the Godslayer warheads. It's very viable using the strategy. And in the Chaos, the Warmind cells are dropping. Again, maybe that drops next to a boss, kills those adds around it, and then you have Power of Rasputin, getting that bonus damage against the boss. There are a ton of good weapons, there are a ton of ways to use this thing. Things like Ruinous Effigy, the Slams, that creates a Warmind cell, Black Talon swords. I couldn't get anything going with Falling Guillotine, Wave Splitter, or Monarch. Telesto's great, but the final weapons I do want to talk about are the other two Void grenade launchers, Truth Teller and Deafening Whisper. Both of these are fantastic, top tier. Use it the same way as I talked about with Fighting Lion, Blast Radius, Warmind's Decree, Hammer of the Warmind, and Breach and Clear. Also for these launchers, if there's Unstoppables, use the Unstoppable Nade Launcher mod on the artifact. I don't have a bad thing to say about these, but these opposed to Fighting Lion, it's the special ammo. It's running around finding it if you need it. In higher level play, it may not be there. Or maybe you need to go find an enemy to finish them to get special ammo. With Fighting Lion, at any time, any given point, in any activity, it's gonna have shots to keep spraying, to keep debuffing, to keep making cells. Simply never worrying about it. It's always gonna be there. And realistically, all you really need is Warmind's Decree, a grenade scav if you want, but that isn't even really needed. That's it. There's no grenade launcher, ammo finder, nothing like that. It's the jack of all trades. You can do a ton with it. There's also a ton of builds to make. Ones that can even make it into endgame using cells from the Void Splash, Titan, Hunter Tether, Void abilities, these weapons. It's great. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you're new here, come on back, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're looking for a new controller, I am partnered with Scuff Gaming. You can use the link down below and my code COOL at checkout for a discount. Let's talk about Warmind's Decree down below, talk about builds, help each other. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.